Hello, my name is Marisha Sanford and I'm here with LA Emerging Designers. I have the pleasure of interviewing Nathanaelle. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Nathanaelle Couture from Nathanaelle Couture.
How long have you been designing for?
It's been about 5 years now that I started my own line.
Wow. Okay.
But I sewed my first collection when I was 12 years old.
Wow, that's so amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, can you describe your brand?
Yeah, so I do a lot of lace. As you can see here, I love velvets, and I can say that it's very classic, very elegant, very feminine. It's definitely like Baroque and Renaissance inspired, or even just the early 1900s, like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, even a little bit the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It's very timeless.
Wow.
Very elegant, very feminine.
Yes, I can see that you like the lace.
Yes.
You do a great job with your patterns.
Thank
very
you.
high attention to detail, and you're very meticulous in your work. So that's really
Thank
good.
you very much.
How
Thank
old
you.
were you?
When I started my line, I was 23. I'm 27 now.
Wow, still
Yeah.
young. That's so
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you tell our viewers where you're from?
Yes, I'm from, well, my mom is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
My father's Belgian. And I was born in Denmark. So a little bit from everywhere in Europe.
Oh, okay. So what brought you here to LA?
Well, I came here and started my line. And then I met my beautiful fiance. And that kept me here.
So you've been in LA a couple of years now.
Yes.
What would be the difference, the similarities and the differences between European fashion and LA fashion?
Well, LA fashion is very, it's a little hippie-ish. I mean, New York, for example, is totally different. It's super European. But LA is, you know, it's very relaxed. It's got the little hippie-ish feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And European is very put together. It's very, I mean, it's very fashion forward. But I think New York is definitely along that line, though.
Okay, nice. Okay, so can I ask you what inspires you as a designer?
Yes, what inspires me is really vintage. I mean, I love everything vintage.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to my wedding gowns, I love Marie Antoinette, and I love, you know, that like France and Italy, the Renaissance, and that kind of time period.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, you know, the early 1900s.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. Like, that's really my inspiration. And Chanel is a huge inspiration.
Okay, so that's your favorite designer?
Yes.
Okay.
Coco Chanel, yes.
Nice, nice.
Yes.
If you could describe the typical process for designing one of your pieces, what would it be? Do you just think of something and then you're writing at the drawing board and then you start designing? What's the typical process for you?
Okay, so I'm super unconventional, first of all.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with it.
So I don't really work out of a pattern. I basically pretty much drape everything. And sometimes I'll sketch, and then out of the sketch, I'll design and create, you know, the dress or the suit or whatever I'm making. But sometimes I'll just see fabric and get really inspired.
Wow.
By the fabric, I can see fabric and say, oh, wow, that would make a beautiful suit, or like this one, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you design that yourself?
I did, yeah.
Wow, look at you. So you really like the patterns and the prints.
Yes, I love it. But it has to be done right.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know?
you're very meticulous in your work.
Yes.
I noticed like you have a certain trend with all of your pieces. It's either lace, it's all vintage feel. So you pretty much stick to the same theme.
Yes, it's because that's really my inspiration, but I always try to make it contemporary too, right?
Yes,
So
you
it's
do.
wearable today, and you know, I won the LA Fashion Week Contemporary Women's Fashion Award in March
That is
2014.
so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was nominated with Michael Kors, DKNY's, BB, Juicy Couture, and Marc Jacobs, a lot of other designers too, which was a huge honor, very humbling. And I won. So that was pretty amazing. And that was for contemporary fashion. So although it's vintage, it's still very, wearable today.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Good job with
Thank
your
you.
collection. Since there's so much like competition within the fashion
Right.
industry, how do you manage to stay above that and just, keep focused on your designs, what your brand is all about? How do you manage to stay above all of that competition?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't pay attention to the competition because if you, I can see somebody else's work and say, wow, that's beautiful. I don't ever feel like I have to take another designer down, even in my world, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the best thing to me, it keeps me at peace, right? And I think that's a thing for any artist, is to be able to admire beauty anywhere, and any other designer's beauty, I can admire it openly, but also I don't pay attention to it. I don't feel like I got to compete with anybody. I don't think that I have to compare myself to anybody. I'll be inspired by like Chanel, like she's really my inspiration, but I don't, I just don't do that, because when you start doing that, then you're starting to be jealous and you're starting to feel like you're competing, and then you're not authentic anymore. Like I don't like, for example, really like to ever go to anybody else's fashion show, not out of like disrespect, but because I want to keep my style, whatever that is, and stay inspired by myself mostly. I go on Pinterest a lot and look at old fashion, like that I will do, you know what I mean? But I don't, I'll watch Chanel fashion shows and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't overdo that, you know what I mean? Because otherwise you're always looking at somebody else's creativity and you don't want it to affect yours, because we're all unique, really.
Yes, authentic too.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay. Where can consumers purchase one of your designs?
Online. So my website is nathanaelle.com, and clients can contact me directly to come to the studio, and then I will custom make things for them.
Wow.
And I'm getting ready to launch a ready-to-wear line, but that's in progress right now.
Wow, so you're stepping away from...
I'm not stepping away.
Okay.
Hold on now. This is what I love.
I love it too.
Right?
I think you should stick with the lace.
Yes.
It works
that
well.
will not change.
Okay.
Nothing will change. It's just going to be more work.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not going to stop or do less of this. I'm just going to add more work to it. Okay. Right? Which is a ready-to-wear line. So it will be really... still my style. I'm still going to use some lace and things like that for my ready-to-wear line, but it'll just be more ready-to-wear.
Sounds great.
Yes.
So what is next for your brand?
Well, my ready-to-wear line, and then after the ready-to-wear line, then I want to open a boutique in probably Beverly Hills.
Nice. What is your ideal goal for your line?
Well, my ideal goal is really a dream, which can come true. And it's really, I want to be, as big as Chanel is. That's my goal, my dream goal.
Yeah. You'll definitely get there.
Thank you.
You are well on your way.
Thank you. And I've really learned that, it's so important to have a goal and have, a dream and have a goal there. And work every day toward that, because you can have dreams and it feel like it will never come true because you're not really doing anything to make it happen. But if you're living the present time moment and enjoying every step of the way, because I really realized something is that I thought, people who've really kind of like basically made it, I'm sure they sometimes regret the beginning. of their career, because there's something so beautiful in starting something out of nothing. Like starting something as a spirit, you know, you have like a dream and you have something you want to achieve, and the idea of having nothing and saying, you know what, one day I want to be this, or one day I want to do that, and starting to make that happen. There's something so beautiful in that moment, you know. So I really, like, sometimes you can get so antsy and you're like, oh, I want to be there already. But you know, when you get there, then you're like, oh, I'm there. What do I do now? You got to figure something else out to start. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so it's like, really enjoy every step of the way. And that's something I've learned.
Very inspirational.
Thank you.
Since we're on the subject of inspiration,
yes,
what advice would you be able to give to aspiring designers as well as upcoming brands?
Well, first of all, have a dream, right? And like I said, work toward it every day. Don't really listen to the critics. And we live in a world where critics are valued, you know, like in every fields of arts. Like, people grant so much importance to critics, but, you know, let them talk, but don't, like, let them talk. You know what I mean? But you got to really, because it can break your certainty and your confidence. And even as a designer, as an artist, if you have an artistic vision and you listen too much to the critics, it can break you, I think. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'll let people say whatever they want. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But I don't internalize it. You know what I mean? Don't really listen to the critics too much. Now, people can give you good advices, and that may be different, you know? So you kind of have to make the difference. But I will say, just work at it every day. You know, work at it every day. What's your goal? And break your goal down in steps. You know, and always ask yourself, well, what's the next step? What's the next step, right? Like for me now, it's like, okay, what's the next step? Ready to wear line, because I want to open a boutique, but in order to have enough customers, right, to make the boutique run, I need to have a ready to wear line. So it's just like, it's just strategizing what the next step is, and just keep taking the next step towards your goal and keep creating. Don't get too antsy to already been arrived to where you want to get, because then you're not living in the present time moment of just creating your life the way you want it to be. Like, enjoy this right now and just ask yourself, what's the next step, and keep creating. It's all right. Things will come. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. Those are great words of wisdom.
Thank you so much, Marisha. It's my pleasure.
It is my pleasure, Nathanaelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you please show your viewers your collection?
Yeah, sure. Well, this is one of my latest collection. So it's that royal green velvet, which I love. I did this for my last collection. It had so much success. I got so many orders of this. And, you know, it's interesting because I made myself a dress in this fabric in 2013 when we got engaged at LA Fashion Week. And literally this year was walking through the mall and I saw velvet everywhere. And I was like, wow, like that just, you know, but this is, I love this. And then all of this detail is
a lot of detail.
Thank you. I love this.
So beautiful.
Thank you. On my own. So, and then this one was also one of my latest collection. Beautiful. So it's like a knitted lace, silver and black. It's just stretchy. One of the things that people say about my line is it's very comfortable. It moves with your body. I use, you know, I don't use lining fabric. I use actual dress fabric to line everything. And it just makes the quality and the comfort just so much.
So you feel and look amazing at the same time.
Exactly. You're not like constricted or anything. This is another gown that I made. The back is,
that is gorgeous.
Right? It's like a low back. Yes. And I love little buttons and little hoops to close things.
Yes.
And then here, I'll show you. There you go. I love rhinestones, but less is more, right? So you don't want to overdo it.
You're very fun with your designs.
Thank you.
You put like a little detail on it, and it's classy, but it's sexy, and it's very feminine too, but it's still sleek. So
thank you.
It makes you feel like every woman.
Thank you.
You're every woman all in one outfit. It's really good.
I really appreciate that.
I'm being honest.
Thank you.
What's your ultimate favorite? You have a lot of great designs, but I know you have a favorite.
Well, that's really hard, you know. I mean, this dress right here,
oh, that's gorgeous,
is actually the first wedding gown I made ever. And it's very much inspired by Marie Antoinette. You know, it has like this beautiful Italian lace and sheer on top, the little bows, and I mean, that model was gorgeous. She wore that so beautifully. You know, I mean, that's like a pride when you see that on the runway, right?
Yeah.
But that's a wedding dress. And then there's so much other things that I do that you know, and then like down to this, right? So this brocade fabric, I love brocade, and this is all hand cut and everything, and hand sewed pearls and rhinestones. It's like a baby doll dress, right?
Yes, it is.
And then the back has the little opening, and this is really comfy. You should put your hand in it.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is David Haynes. You know, I'm the proud fiance of Nathanaelle Couture. And, you know, I've been just fortunate to see her blossom into this amazing designer. And I'm quite, you know, excited to see what the future holds, because, you know, she keeps creating, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And it's funny because you see a design, you're like, oh, it doesn't get any better than this. Until she comes out with another miraculous design, you're like, oh my God. Like, so each one complements the other, you know, and it's just amazing how she's, you know, just blossomed into this wonderful
Thank you, baby.
That's so amazing. So amazing. So I noticed ever since you've come out to LA, you've been involved in a lot of charity fashion shows. You engage yourself in a lot of philanthropic events. And I wanted to ask you about Amira, which happens to be your daughter.
That's right.
I understand that she wants to be a fashion designer.
That's right.
How does she help you when you're designing?
Well, she's so cute, first of all. I met Amira when she was 6, going on 7. She's such a bright, creative young girl, very sweet. And she has a lot of ideas, and she knows what she likes, and she knows what she wants. And she would go fabric shopping with me, and picked out some fabric, and then came to the studio with me and was like, okay, we're gonna do it this way and that way. And she assisted me in some of my previous collections in just putting her inputs, and I just kind of allowed her to really speak up her mind and realize that she really had a good eye, which is really impressive, because she was so young. And I kind of at first thought, oh, you know, she's cute, you know what I mean? But and then when I started listening to her, I was pretty impressed of actually her eye as a designer. So I really think she's gonna grow, and she's so stylish.
That is so great.
Oh my God. Like she just, you know, will go to the store and just like, oh, I can wear this with that and this with that, and then she will just style stuff together. Like, she's really good.
And that's how she let me know that she was interested in design when she was actually 5. She had me sit down. She had me turn off the game. She said, focus, Daddy. This is exactly what she did. And she had me sit in front of a computer as she was explaining to me how she would design and wants to design. And then she started to explain to me how she wanted her models to model the things that she wanted to design, to the point she mimicked the stances and things like that, and how it would fall off of that. I said, oh man, I gotta find someone to mentor you. And so a friend of mine who's an artist, he's a a painter, he's awesome. He introduced me to Nat, and when I saw Nat and the attention that she gave my daughter and the instruction and the level of patience, Man, I just, I started to say, okay.
Love at first sight, right?
And so it was good that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Boom. I wanted to go back, if I can, on the issue of her creation getting better and better. Now, that's not the proper word. Which what I really want to say was when I first saw her designs, when I first saw Nat's designs. First of all, I said, okay, this is a seasoned designer. I'm like, who is this seasoned designer, and where's she from? And because my friend was telling me about her and showing me some of the pictures of her designs and things like that. And I said, wow, man, this would be great for my daughter. But when I saw the designs, I was completely blown away. So, I'm just amazed at the continuation of the creation, and so it's just a very wonderful thing to see, So it's not, the idea is that, I think she's limitless in her create. And every time I see her create something new, I'm blown away. And it stuns me, whether it's a client that goes on the Steve Harvey show and I'm looking and I'm like, that's your dress on the Steve Harvey show right now. And wow, it looks amazing. Whether it's that or whether we're sitting together at a fashion show looking at the runway and seeing these new designs. Her last presentation, her last line that she introduced, she didn't let me see them before. I was away, I was out of town, I was working on a film, and she didn't let me see any of the designs. So we went to the fashion show together, and again, I was blown away. And if you see me on the video that they had, I'm completely at awe at what I'm looking at. And so that's just how amazing she is. So, I've seen her, either make a dress for someone who couldn't afford it, and make them look extremely beautiful. She did this wonderful wedding gown for this couple. They were so cute, right? And what she did was she knew that the wife-to-be couldn't afford it. So what she gave her a super discount, kind of like, it was just amazing compared to the work she did for it. But the dress looked gorgeous, it looked great, this is the type of things that Nat does, and I think this is why she's so blessed at such a young age. Now, I will tell you a secret about Nat, which is very interesting. This is how fantastic and marvelous she is, and I know how complicated, or how skilled rather, you have to be in order to do what I'm getting ready to tell you that she does. Watching my grandfather, I've seen how he created and things like that, and sometimes he would create without a pattern, and he would communicate to me just how specific and detailed you have to be, and how skillful you have to be. You have to really be a master at your craft to do this. So when I first met Nat, I noticed one of the things that she would do is she would create a design without a pattern. She would literally sketch it like that sketch on the wall, and she made that dress actually for a client, and it was amazing. All she needed was her sizes, and at that point she just, without a pattern, she just literally went to cutting the material, and she does it in such a skillful manner, and all of her clients always love her dress. They always come out perfect. It's just amazing.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, that really is amazing. You're a natural talent.
She is.
Thank you.
No problem. You're very welcome. Okay, I'm dying to know. How'd you propose?
Yeah. Just people know us. Like, we got engaged at LA Fashion Week.
Yeah. And
so he asked me privately first, which I'm glad he did, because it's a private moment.
And it's a private moment with unexpected reactions, which are very lovely reactions, by the way. So we, first of all, she puts on this amazing dress. She didn't let me see it until we were going to her show.
It was royal green velvet. It was this fabric, but a different design.
Totally beautiful, to the point where my 5-year-old looked at her and said, "Hey, you should wear that dress when you and my dad get married."
Like, she saw me come out of the room, she said,
that's what she said. So
she was like, "You're so beautiful. You need to wear that dress when you and Daddy get married."
So
I was like, oh my God, that was so cute.
We're getting ready to go. We're getting in the truck. We're getting ready to go. And I said, "Baby," I said, "can I ask you a question?" She said, yeah, go ahead. I said, "First of all, baby, I'm so proud of you. You look beautiful. I'm excited about tonight." I said, "How much do you love me?" She said, "I really love you." Nat is so romantic, and she said the most beautiful things to me. And I said, am I the man of your choice? Am I the man that you want to live with for the rest of your life? She goes, and she says the most wonderful things, yes, and she says the most wonderful romantic things. And I go, okay, you know what? With that, it's so beautiful. I just want to ask you something. She's like, yeah, baby. So I said, will you marry me? And
you started crying.
All the makeup. So it was good that I asked her, in a private moment.
So I can fix my makeup
so
after.
On the way to the show, she's fixing her makeup, and we get to the show. We tell the producer, and the producer's like, "Oh my God!" And she's, so the producer announces it.
Mikey Kaufman.
Right. Of LA Fashion Week.
Sunset Gower Studios. Right.
That is
and we have this wonderful picture that they took with us on stage, and
she announced it on stage, and then
did she?
Yeah, it was really.
So you just had a great night overall.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then that collection is the collection I got nominated for my award and won.
It's beautiful because it when it comes, you know it, and it erases all doubt. And it creates something of a bit of a happiness for your future. And when that sits in you, you're like, wow, this is it. And you just know. And that's the beauty of it. So when you find that zing like that,
that zing,
when,
that's it. That's that true love.
Yeah. And sometimes, for me, I had to learn I had to learn to recognize that in myself, and when it is and when it isn't, you see. And so because sometimes life doesn't teach you until, you come across it. But I'm going to tell you something, when I came across it, it was one of the most amazing realities. For me, I would never be a barrier to her success. And it's only to see her succeed that makes me really happy. And so that's with that kind of reality, and vice versa. And so I sit back and I enjoy, just watching just her succeed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Individuals can walk you up to a line, but they won't cross it with you if it means that is where your dreams are. It's your dreams. And so you have to cross that line with all certainty, with all determination, and whatever comes with it, don't let anyone's opinion ever wreck you. Keep your attention on your prize and just work like mad toward it. That's your dreams, that's your goal. You cross that line into your own reality. You make it what it is that you're supposed to do. What you want, So congratulations on that big move.
Absolutely.
Because, if like all of us,
tearing up right now.
no, it's so good because like all of us, we've had, we've all had individuals as close to us as knowing us when we were babies to say, no, you're crazy, you're going there, don't do it. It's nothing but, oh, I'm going to disown you, I'm not going to support you, I'm not going to see, all that noise is, number one, it's unnecessary. Number two, you shouldn't listen to it. But what you should do is really know what's inside yourself. And you grab hold of that thing and you just work like mad toward it. Don't get distracted. Things that come in your life and distract you and pull you, and you make decisions out of loneliness. I did, out of loneliness. In the past, I made decisions I made bad decisions, and so now this is funny because now meeting Nat, I'm making all the right decisions. When I met Nat, ironically, it was at a time when I said I want to make better decisions, and I just want to live, I want to go for my dream, and I want to push hard, and I'm gonna live as if this is a new day, and I'm just born into this reality, and I'm gonna go hard at it. And then I met Nat, and it was like we were both running on the same path. I was like, hey, fancy meeting you. We're running side to side, and then we just decided to let's join, and let's do it as a team.